DreAllDay.com.
You are now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, especially yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And we put all this together into one mindset, one framework, one philosophy, one process. We even created a course out of this that's available in Work On Your Game University. You heard about that already. You want to hear more about it later on as we get into this conversation. And we wrote a book on the subject. It is called, if you didn't know, you probably already know, somebody already told you, maybe you've been listening to this every day, so you definitely know, but let me tell you what it's called again. I'm gonna keep reminding you. It is called Work On Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic, we are talking about your favorite flavor of shit sandwich. Yes, you heard me correctly. Your favorite flavor of shit sandwich. Maybe you didn't know you even liked the shit sandwich, but there is a flavor that you must accept. There are some flavors that maybe you are already savoring and enjoying to this point in your life. And when we get into this, you'll understand exactly what I mean by this. Now, this subject, I thought of this topic. I came to this topic I was listening to Elizabeth Gilbert, something she was saying. It might have been a book of hers I was reading, actually. And she had referred to having heard it from a guy named Mark Manson, who's an author himself. And what the topic is about is, what are you willing to tolerate in your life? What are you willing to have more of in your life? What are you willing to accept in your life, given the life that you've chosen, given the situation that you're in? This is something we just talked about a few days ago in the episode on acceptance and tolerance. The reason why, what I mean by this is, since nothing in life is going to be perfect, any situation that you choose in life, there's some shit that you're going to have to go through. I gave a whole section to this in my book, Work On Your Game, where we talked about becoming a story or becoming a statistic. The stories and the statistics, these are all people in life. They end up in one of these categories. Everybody goes through shit. All right, maybe you'll call it stuff if you don't like to use profanity, but I do here. So in case you didn't know, now you know. Everybody's gonna go through some shit, okay? And the topic that we're talking about here today is, how much of that shit are you willing to tolerate? Because you have to tolerate some of it no matter what you do. Anything you're going to achieve, anywhere you're gonna go, any level that you aspire to, there is some shit you're gonna have to go through. You wanna become an athlete, the shit might be the trainings that you have to do. It might be the injuries that you go through. It might be all the workouts and the tryouts and the traveling and the sacrifices that you have to make and the food that you love but you can't really eat because you gotta keep your body in shape. That's part of the shit that you have to go through. If you're gonna raise children, the shit, you might have to deal with some literal shit from those kids as you're raising them. You might have to deal with them, you gotta take them to the doctors, then you gotta find the right schools to bring them to, then you have to deal with other parents, then you gotta deal with other kids who are assholes, then you gotta deal with all kinds of sicknesses going on with the kids, then you have to deal with trying to find the right schools and the right teachers to bring them to, then you gotta deal with, who knows, all the other shit that comes with raising kids. I don't have children as of this recording, so those of you who do, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of shit that comes with that. If you're in a relationship, there's shit that you got to deal with, right? Because the relationship is not always going to be perfect. The other human being is not always going to be doing or thinking the same thing that you're doing or thinking, so there are going to be conflicts that you're going to have to deal with in dealing with that other person. Anything that you do, you run a business, there's going to be shit. You got to deal with competitive businesses, you got to deal with customers, you got to deal with the government, you got to deal with who knows, whatever else could come up in that industry, whatever business you decide to get involved in, there's always going to be some type of shit that you had to deal with. So like we talked about a few days ago with acceptance and tolerance, accept the fact that there is some shit you're going to have to go through with no matter what you do, there's some shit you're going to deal with. And now you have to decide, accepting that there's shit in everything, the tolerance is about, which shit are you going to accept? Which shit are you willing to go through the most of in order to get through to the other side of what you actually want to achieve? So you might look around, if let's say you like playing sports, and you look at tennis, you're looking at hockey, baseball, and football. Now there's some shit you got to go through with each one of those sports. So your question that you're going to ask yourself and that you're going to answer, I was like, which one of these do I prefer the shit sandwich that comes with it? Do I want the football shit, the tennis shit, the hockey shit, or the baseball shit? But one of them, I'm gonna have to deal with some shit. All right, if you decide that you're gonna get into a relationship and you got 3 suitors for your relationship, it's kind of like the Bachelor, right, or the Bachelorette. All right, each one of these persons is gonna be some shit. They might be beautiful, you might love them, they may make you laugh. There's great rapport between you and that other person. Guaranteed at some point there's going to be some shit between you and that individual, because human beings are just unique and this is just the way that it goes. All right, which one of these people's shit do I want to deal with? Because you're going to have to tolerate some shit from at least one of those individuals. So today's topic is your favorite flavor of shit sandwich. Which shit are you willing to deal with in order for you to get through to the other side of this shit so you can tell your story? When you get to tell your story, that's when you know you've created at least some level of success, because there are people out there who want to get to where you're at and they want to know about that story. They want you to tell your story because they see that you've created some success that they, at least in part, want to create for themselves. Point number 1. Topic, once again, today is your favorite flavor of shit sandwich. Number 1, everything that you do in life comes with side effects that are not fun. In other words, the shit sandwich. I just talked about this in the introduction. If you play sports, there's some shit involved in that. If you get in politics, remember I was watching the TV show The Wire, and there was this guy who was running for mayor of the city. And when he won the race, he was the new person running for mayor. He beat the incumbent guy and unseated the current mayor. He wins the mayor race in the city of The Wire was situated in Baltimore, Maryland. So the new mayor is coming in, and somebody hands him a spoon on his first day as mayor. They hand him a spoon, and he said, "I'm giving you this spoon because you as mayor, your job almost every day, the majority of your work, Mr. Mayor, is eating shit. All right, you're going to get shit from these people over here. You're going to get shit from the school district. You're going to get shit from the construction workers. You're going to get shit from the unions. You're going to get shit from the business people. You're going to get shit from the people down at the docks, at the harbor. You're going to get shit from all different directions. Your job as mayor is eating shit. You're going to be eating shit every single day. This is just part of the job. Nobody told you this when you decided to run for mayor, but now that you became mayor, now, surprise, welcome to the job. Now you know, this is the deal. If you're gonna be writing a book, there is shit that you have to deal with. You gotta deal with the shit of the editors who might wanna change up something that you wrote, and then you feel like it's taking the spirit out of what you said. If you have a publishing deal with a major publishing company, and my book, Working Your Game, I did through a major publishing company, there's all kind of shit you gotta go through. Paperwork shit, the amount of time that they take, the lead times to get things done, the design of the book, the interior design, the exterior design, how much creative control you have over any of this shit. And if they do a shit job, or at least you think is a shit job, or they think you did a shit job, and then there's a difference of opinion and going back and forth, and then the royalties and the payments and making money off your book, and maybe if you make any money off your book, all the shit that you got to go through if you're going to write a book. If you decide to self-publish, publish through your own company, which the majorities of my books are published through my own company, there's still shit you have to go through. You got to go through the shit of doing every single thing necessary to get that book done, from conceptualizing it, to outlining it, to writing it, to editing it, to printing it, to designing, to promoting it and marketing and selling it and getting it into the hands of your consumers and making sure that the orders get to where they're supposed to get to. Just today, actually, before I started recording, I found out there was an order that actually wasn't for one of my books, but it was actually a product that I bought from somebody else, and then returning it for some reason, somehow, some way, the shipping carrier, UPS, somehow mismanaged the shipment, and now we're trying to figure out where the hell the shipment is at. And I'm thinking that maybe it got lost somewhere in shipment, and now I might not get that money back, and now I got to go and threaten and harangue UPS to make sure they get my shit where it's supposed to go, so I don't lose my money. So these are all things that you have to deal with if you're going to do it on your own. And we're just talking about writing a book. This could be any kind of product. If you own a big house, there's shit you have to deal with. Any of you who lives in a big house and you own that house, anything that breaks in that house, you can't call anybody. Well, you can call somebody, but you got to pay them. Now, where I live, if something goes wrong, I can call somebody too, but I don't have to pay them. They pay, because of what I pay in rent on my lease. They cover anything that gets broken. But if you own that house, or even a condo or an apartment, something breaks, ain't nobody to call. All right, you call them, but they're like, all right, it's gonna cost you this much money. They gotta come fix things. You got a big house, you gotta pay for the landscapers. You gotta pay for any pipes that get burst. If the carpet is terrible, you gotta get some new carpet. You gotta pay for it to get ripped up. You gotta pay for it to get put back down. You gotta deal with everything that's going on in there. If you become very well known, the shit is everybody's all in your business. Everybody's talking about you. Your name is in everybody's mouth. People got negative things to say. People got positive things to say. Maybe you can't go to the mall by yourself anymore. You can't get a moment out in public by yourself without somebody being in your face. There's all kind of shit that you have to go through no matter what you do. Whether you are succeeding or failing, there is shit that you need to deal with. So you might as well succeed, because there's going to be shit with it whether you fail or succeed. There are no perfect scenarios or setups in life. This is the point that I'm making here. There are no perfect scenarios. There are no perfect setups. There will always be some shit. That doesn't mean that every single moment of every day there's some shit that you have to deal with, but is pretty damn close. There's always going to be something that needs to be handled in some way, either by you or by somebody close to you or somebody empowered by you. Many people spend their lives searching for some perfect scenario or some perfect setup, and they never find it. In other words, they look at one situation, they start getting involved in it, maybe they have some early success, then they run into the shit of that situation and they leave because they're like, I don't want to deal with the shit. So then they go somewhere else and say, all right, well, let's hopefully that shit that was in the last situation one, hopefully that doesn't exist in situation two. The good news is that shit does not exist in situation two. The problem is situation two has its own set of shit. So now when they got to deal with situation two shit, they don't want to anymore, so they quit situation two. So they move on to situation three. They say, all right, hopefully situation three does not have any of the shit from situations 1 or 2. Good news, it's correct. There is none of the 1 or 2 shit in situation 3. The problem is situation 3 has its own set of shit, and so forth and so on. So some people travel through life going from place to place, situation to situation, trying things, business to business, idea to idea, person to person, circle to circle, trying to find a situation that has no shit. And then when they realize that there is some shit in the current situation, they quit that one, try to go find another one, and they just keep doing this over and over. The cycle just keeps repeating itself. They're trying to run away from the shit. The problem is the shit is there no matter where you go. Anywhere that you go in life, anything that you do, any business, any industry, any person, any place, anything, any idea, any concept, anything that you execute on, even if you don't execute, there is some shit that you're going to have to deal with. So if you right now are looking for some situation or some person or some relationship or some anything that doesn't have shit, let me help you out by telling you it is impossible. That is mission impossible. You will never find it. What you need to do instead is decide what we're going to talk about in point number 2. So just stay tuned. So since there are no perfect scenarios and many people spend their lives looking for one and never find it, thus they never achieve much, now I'll solve that problem. So any of you who's been looking around for a situation that doesn't have shit, any of you right now, maybe you've been dealing with some shit in your current situation, in your current sport, on your current team, in your current business, with your current intimate partner, with one of your business partners, with your job, with wherever you're at. There's some shit that you've been dealing with and it has really been bothering you, and you're thinking about walking away from this situation or dissolving the situation because you're tired of dealing with the shit. Let me ask you to tap your brakes until you get to the end of this episode, because I want to make sure I get this message across to you that leaving this situation does not mean you're going to find a no shit situation on the other side of the fence. That is impossible. That's not going to happen. So what you need to ask yourself is, the shit that I'm dealing with right now that is aggravating me, that is bothering me, that has me exasperated, if I leave this situation, yes, I'll get rid of this shit. But what's the shit that I'm going to be dealing with now that I'm out of this situation? There's some other shit that I'm going to be dealing with. Do I know what it is? And am I willing to handle that, whatever it ends up being? That's a question you should hold in your mind as we move on to point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is your favorite flavor of shit sandwich. Yes, there are different flavors to shit sandwiches. Point number 2, here's the question you must answer. And I've said this already, pretty much laid it out. What flavor of shit sandwich are you willing to eat? Okay, so do you want to eat the shit sandwich of dating guy number 1 or the shit sandwich of dating guy number 2? And if you think incorrectly that either one of these guys does not come with any shit, you are absolutely wrong. Now, maybe you can't tell just yet. Maybe you can't see it just yet, but there is some shit. All right, if you're a football and basketball player and you're trying to decide which one is going to have less shit, that's a bad question to ask yourself, because both of them have equal amounts of shit. It's just different flavors of shit. Which one are you willing to work with? Which one are you willing to deal with? When people ask me about discipline, they say, Dre, how can I become more disciplined? How can someone make themselves disciplined? Let me tell you the answer to the question. The answer is that question is kind of an oxymoron. It's kind of not, but it kind of is, because what you don't want to do is try to force yourself to be disciplined. That doesn't really work. What you want to do is find something in life that you care about enough that you are willing to be disciplined. This is the key to discipline right here. It's finding something that doing the thing, whatever that thing is, doesn't really feel like discipline because you enjoy doing it. What is the discipline that goes behind putting out an audio show that puts out a brand new material every single day? Like this show right here. I mean, I listen to shows that come out once a week, and they'll do 5 weeks straight of replay episodes of, what they call encore episodes. One of their most popular episodes, they run it back from 3 years ago. Nothing wrong with that. It's just not the way I chose to run my show. I chose to put out brand new, fresh material every single day. Not once a week, every single day. What's the discipline behind doing something like this is that you can't really take a day off. I mean, I could record 2 episodes in one day, so then I afford myself tomorrow off, but I had to do tomorrow's work today. So there's still work that needs to be done. Dre Baldwin needs to record at least 365 times every single year. It's a guarantee. Whatever number episode this one is that you're listening to right now, I've had to record at least that many episodes of the show. There's no other way to do it. I can't outsource it to somebody else. I didn't hire a voice double to say my words for me. I have to actually do that. That is a discipline. So what's the secret to that discipline, to me doing this? Anybody know the secret to that discipline? I'm gonna give you a moment to think about it, see if anybody has an answer. All right, time's up. The secret to the discipline of recording as consistently as I record and publishing as consistently as I publish is that I actually want to do it. That's the secret. Secret to my discipline is that I want to be disciplined. I want to be disciplined and put the show out every single day. I mean, it was me, after all, who decided I'm going to put this show out every single day. That was my choice. That wasn't something that was forced upon me. It's not anything that is not required by any governing body. I just chose to do it. And because I want to do it, the discipline appears to be easy because it's something that I want to do. So when you find something in your life, or some things, plural, that in your life that you actually want to do, then the disciplines that come with them should be relatively easy once you understand what they are and why they work. Now, if you don't quite understand those, I understand. That's where I can help you. That's why we have Work on Your Game University. One of the 9 core elements of the Work on Your Game system is strategy. So having the skill is one thing, having the mentality is another thing, and wanting to achieve an outcome is also another. But having the strategy to bridge the gap between the skill and the actual outcomes, that matters a whole lot too. That's why we have a whole section on strategy. We have a whole Work on Your Game system course, by the way, that'll help you figure that out. What are you willing to be disciplined at in order to create that plan and execute on it? Because you can't try to force it. Well, actually you can. That's wrong. You can try to force yourself to be disciplined. Is anyone who's listening to this right now, have you ever tried to force yourself to be disciplined? Maybe there's something you're working on right now. You've been trying to force yourself to be more disciplined at it. I actually get people who ask me this question, or they'll kind of say it. They'll kind of like lament as they're talking about it, because they might be asking me about something that they can see that's evident with me. Like, man, you're disciplined in doing this thing. And then they'll say, man, I've been trying to be disciplined. I've been trying to force myself to be disciplined, to go to the gym every day. Or I've been trying to, write 300 words a day so I can write my book. Or I've been thinking about starting a podcast, or thinking about doing a YouTube channel, or maybe I just want to I want to go to the gym more often. Something that they want to be more disciplined at, and they're lamenting the fact that they have been, to this point, failing to be more disciplined. The reason why they're failing to be more disciplined is because they're trying. If you are trying to be disciplined, you are going about it the wrong way. Am I making myself clear here? If you're trying to force discipline, that's the exact reason why it's not working. It's not going to work that way. Point number 3. Today's topic is, what is your favorite flavor of shit sandwich? Or it's just your favorite flavor of shit sandwich. Number 3, many people are actually, when it comes to the discipline, many people are very bulimic. The definition of bulimic is binge eating followed by methods to avoid weight gain. In other words, and further definition says often purging, aka self-induced vomiting. So this is a person who may have an eating, I guess they call this an eating disorder. Somebody's bulimic. I think bulimia is an eating disorder, classified scientifically medically as an eating disorder. Somebody eats food so that they don't look like they're not eating, or they eat because maybe they feel like they're supposed to eat, and then they actually do things to not gain weight. So they purge, they make themselves throw up even after they ate the food that they knew they were going to throw up afterwards. And this is a disorder that needs to be dealt with sometime in some way medically, some way psychologically, Don't get me into that because I'm not qualified to speak on it. But I use this term metaphorically, meaning with a lot of people in life, they start to eat the shit sandwich for the thing that they claim that they want to get results in, but then they go into this self-induced vomiting. They force themselves to throw up from the shit sandwich that they were eating. So they were eating the shit. You said you wanted to go to the gym every day so you can get six-pack abs or so you can lose 20 pounds before your high school reunion. And you're doing it. You're going to the gym. You're doing your thing. But then that third day hits. Then that third day energy hits and you're not quite feeling it anymore. The newness has worn off. You finally got over the honeymoon and you realize that there's some shit that needs to be eaten here. And you eat the shit because it seems like the right thing to do. But then you're like, nah, I don't want to eat this shit. Then you just vomit. You throw it up. And you realize that you don't really want to do the work. But here's the problem. If you eat the shit sandwich or the thing that you're trying to get to the goal at, and that is something you have to do, but you aren't willing to keep it down. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're willing to drink that champagne, but you can't hold your liquor. All right, you want to take those shots, but you can't hold your liquor, so you're vomiting in the bathroom later on that night. If you can't hold down the shit sandwich after you've eaten it, you can't win. You got to be willing to hold it down once you get it into your system. The discipline is not working for you because maybe you've chosen the wrong flavor of shit sandwich to eat. Right? Don't choose the wrong flavor of shit sandwich. Whatever you're going to eat, you got to eat it. All right, you want to hold it down, you got to hold it down. All right, so if you're forcing up the shit sandwich after you eat it, then maybe you have chosen the wrong restaurant to eat at. Maybe you ordered Uber Eats from the wrong company. I tell people how to know when not to quit in life is when you enjoy the challenges of the hard days. When things are not quite working right and you're facing challenges and you haven't quite figured it out yet, you're still excited to get back there the next day and work on it some more so you can kind of get closer to what that outcome is. Like, damn, I haven't figured it out yet, but let me keep working. That didn't work yet. Let me try something else. That's not working. Let me see why it's not working. Let me look into this. Let's put our heads together and try to figure out where this is coming from. You look forward to coming back to deal with the challenge, even when things are not working. That's when you should keep going. All right, that's a sign that you should not quit. That's a sign that you need to keep going. Usually, those people who are in that situation aren't usually asking me, hey, should I quit? The people who are usually asking me if they should quit are the people who are not excited about the challenges. They might even be succeeding and they're not excited. I had a young lady reach out to me a couple weeks ago, and I believe her sport was, she said she was a figure skater. So she was into figure skating. Her parents got her into it at a young age. She's actually very good at it. But when she's going to practice, she like dreads it and hates it. She's in the car riding to practice and she's like hating it because she doesn't even enjoy what she's doing. And she's being successful at it. And what I told her is maybe you need a little bit of time off. And she was young. I think she was maybe 14, 15, 16, somewhere around that age bracket. But just telling me that she didn't even enjoy what she was doing, even though she has been relatively successful and is relatively, I suppose, talented at what she does. But she wasn't excited. Now, if you're in a situation where your talent is not even showing yet, you're not even getting results yet, nobody's telling you that you're good, but you're still excited to show up and face those challenges and get better, keep going. Keep doing it. Maybe it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make it to the pros, but you can keep trying if you want it. If you're still excited, you should keep going. You can still see the vision of you getting somewhere in it, keep going to it. But if you can't see that vision anymore, if the lights are out, it's like nobody's home up there, then it might be time for you to at least take a little bit of a break just to see how you feel with the break. Are you itching to get back at it? Or are you like, you know what, I'm kind of fine without this. This is something that I talked about in my book, Work on Your Game. When I decided that I was going to stop playing professional basketball, I took a week off from going to the gym, a week off from lifting weights or playing basketball. I just spent that week doing other things, and I didn't feel that itch to get back in the gym. Any other time, if I took even one day off, I kind of felt like I cheated myself. I was like, damn, how am I going to take this day off? Why didn't I do my third workout this day? Why not do 2 workouts this day? But this time I took a whole week, and I didn't feel any of that. I said, all right, it's time for me to walk away because I don't want to cheat the game. I don't want to cheat myself, and I don't want to be less than my best as a player, because I knew if I wasn't doing that level of training, I wouldn't be my best as a player. I don't want to be on the court losing to somebody whose ass I should have been kicking because I wasn't doing my training. So that's when I knew it was time for me to transition and get out of the game. So all that being said, let's recap today's class, which is your favorite flavor of shit sandwich. Point number 1. Everything you do in life comes with side effects that are not fun. This is also known as the shit sandwich. I don't care if you're an athlete, politician, an author, an entrepreneur, a homeowner, a famous person. There is no perfect scenario in life where there's not going to be any shit for you to eat. Many people spend their lives searching for that and they never find it. Point number 2, the question then is, what flavor of shit sandwich are you willing to eat? When people ask me about discipline, I tell them, What you need to find is something that you care about enough that you don't even feel like you are disciplining yourself to be sticking to the process. The thing that you need to, if you're trying to force yourself to be disciplined, you're probably doing the wrong thing. Point number 3, many people have this metaphorical bulimia. They binge eat the shit sandwich, but then they purge, they make themselves vomit the shit sandwich. If you can't hold down the shit sandwich, you are eating the wrong flavor of shit sandwich. Your discipline is not working because you've chosen the wrong one to eat. All right, maybe you order, again, from DoorDash, you just chose the wrong company, order from somewhere else. I tell people, you know not to quit when you enjoy the challenges of eating the shit sandwich. You look forward to eating the next one. If you don't like eating the shit sandwich, you probably are eating the wrong food. Go find a different chef to order from. And if you want to learn how to, first of all, get the being in line so that you're okay with eating the shit sandwich, you can develop your game. And then the next step is performing your game, showing off your game. And the next step is collecting for your game, meaning getting the ROI. In other words, getting paid for your game and your skill and the skill that you develop while eating the shit sandwich. Then what you need to do is join us at Work on Your Game University. That's at workonyourgameuniversity.com. You're going to hear about it right now. Work on your game. Dre all day.